It is a cold and wintry week, and we're spending some time living with the Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. The TRD Pro is the most off-road capable, top-of-the-line version of the Tacoma, designed to take on the Ford Ranger Raptor and the Chevy Colorado ZR2. Now, this is an all-new generation of the Tacoma, so what's under the hood? Well, the TRD Pro is now hybrid only. The iForce Max powertrain is a 2.4-liter turbocharged four-cylinder paired with an electric motor integrated into the transmission for that low-end twist when you're off-roading. The power and torque figures are actually pretty good. 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. That torque figure is definitely good for a truck and an off-road truck too. Now, what else does the TRD Pro treatment include? Well, it's got the looks. It's aggressive, but it's functional. 3 inches wider than a regular Tacoma. It's taller. It's got more ground clearance. We've got the skid plates. We've got Fox racing shocks and some of the coolest seats I have ever seen in a vehicle, including supercars, trucks, whatever. They're pretty fancy. So what is this thing like to live with? We're going to find out. Now, the one caveat is, unfortunately, we're not doing any sort of hardcore off-roading, although it is a winter wonderland and the roads in Michigan are terrible. They approximate the surface of the moon. We'll definitely be conquering lots of potholes. But this is a real-world experience of what is it like to daily drive this thing, to use it as your truck every day. Let's go find out. These are the craziest seats I have ever seen. They are called IsoDynamic sport seats, and they feature built-in shock absorbers in the seat. Each shock absorber controls a different axis of motion. This one on the right does your side-to-side motion, this one on your left does your up-down, and there's additional ones below that control fore and aft. Now, why do you want shock absorbers built into the seat? Well, when you're off-roading and doing all sorts of crazy things, you want to make sure that the driver and the passenger, right, the occupants of the vehicle, the driver remains in control when you're being jostled around off-road, but also to reduce fatigue and impacts and just isolate that, right? So that's the point of this system here. These are air over oil shock absorbers that also feature a lot of adjustability. So you have these toggles right here, but also if you take a look right here, you can unscrew this to air up your seats. Just like if you were to air up the tires on the truck right there, you have a little pressure gauge. It looks like my seats are low on air. When have you ever had to air up your seats before? But it's another degree of customizability, things you can adjust and tune, because the amount of damping and things like that are going to vary depending on, why can't I screw that thing on? I'll do that later. The amount of damping and control vary depending on the weight and size of the occupant, what you're doing, what you wanted to do. So this is pretty crazy. Also, it looks pretty awesome. You have the anodized red finish here with the kind of carbon look contrast. Now, the one downside is this whole contraption here does eat into your rear seat space a bit because it extends the back of the seat. So like your legroom back there is not that fantastic. Not that the Tacoma was that practical in the first place, but these are some pretty crazy seats. I've never seen anything like that before. Also, this means the seat is only partially power. So this one allows you to slide it forward and back, but it is manual recline. So you have to use the toggle here. So really fancy seats, but they're not going to be full power. But imagine all the work that went into developing these seats, testing them. They also have to meet safety standards, right? They also look pretty cool. You got this like camo design in the red, which is awesome, with the TRD accent there. They're pretty bolstered, actually very aggressively bolstered here, which also would be important when you're off-roading. You don't want to be sliding around, just like in a sports car. You don't want to be sliding around when we've got G-forces. When you're off-roading, you want to be held in place so you can still hold the wheel, be in control. This thing is properly mean and aggressive, especially in the Stormtrooper spec with the contrasting white and black, but it's functional too. 3 inches wider than a regular Tacoma, noticeably taller, way more ground clearance. The front fascia is designed for better approach angles, and we have the skid plate below for protection, the red tow hooks, you have lighting in the front grille, the Toyota lettering there, and then the black contrast fender flares with the 33-inch all-terrain tires, 18-inch wheels with the TRD logo in the middle, and the anodized red upper control arm there with the TRD logo. If we count how many TRD logos, there's a lot, right? You even have one in the headlight here, up here. It's got a really aggressive hood, lots of angles and things, right? Now, coming along the side, you do have rock rail for protection. Now, this does have quite a bit of ground clearance, so without a side step, if you're vertically challenged, climbing up into the truck, maybe a little bit of a challenge, but you can see some more red anodized accents there. And then around back, this is pretty cool. You have a button hidden here. You have a power open tailgate. So it drops like that, and then you can press it again to bring it up. It's a 5-foot bed. So you got some truck practicality. And then we've got the ARB bumper. It's a steel bumper. We've got the additional tow hooks there, the spare tire, and then TRD Pro stamped into the rear tailgate. The iForce Max badge right there, show you the powertrain. And then you can also press right here. So it's on both sides. Depending on wherever you approach a truck from, you can conveniently open your tailgate. So it's got proper truck functionality, practicality. And then you have the dual side exit exhaust here. It's got a TRD exhaust and intake, so it's got a little bit more of a nice growl to it. Well, this thing looks properly badass. I think it's one of my favorite looking trucks in the segment now. I do like the GMC AT4X, especially the AEV edition, but this thing does look properly cool. We have a sponsor for today's video, LazFit. We've got some all-weather floor mats we're gonna install in this 4Runner TRD Pro. If you live somewhere like Michigan where it's like the Arctic tundra, you know how important all-weather floor mats are because of, well, snow, ice, and salt. As you can see, the factory floor mats don't extend that far, so you can oftentimes have dirt, snow, and salt extending beyond the edges. Let's go ahead and unbox these. They're made of TPE, which is thermoplastic elastomer, which sounds really fancy, but essentially combines the benefits of plastic where they're really durable. They can be injection molded with high accuracy and precision because they're all custom fit to the different vehicles, and they can be recycled, but also rubber where it can be flexible, but not that terrible rubber smell, right? You know, sometimes you get something rubber and it's got that really strong smell. These don't have that. Remove the factory floor mats here, pull these out. Ooh, those are dirty. And then go ahead, slide these in. And as you can see, that is much better coverage. They use the same OEM mounting points, which is really important because you do not want your floor mats moving around. Passenger side out, and the new one going in. Twist, locks that in. All of this coverage here that the factory one's not, and look how far it extends. Like comparison, right? Like this is, you can fit the factory ones inside these new ones, and this is all additional coverage right there. So if you need all-weather floor mats for your car, I would definitely recommend checking out LazFit. They have so many options and configurations. For example, for the 4Runner, you can pick either 5-seat or 7-seat, hybrid or non-hybrid, front row, second row, cargo, and if you use my discount code, you get 20% off your order. Thanks to LazFit for sponsoring this video. Now back to the vlog. Starting off with a road trip to Chicago. Have the truck all loaded up, it's been warming up. CarPlay pulled up on the nice big infotainment screen. Have my phone sitting right there on the wireless charger. Let's go. All right, we have about a 5-hour drive out to the suburbs of Chicago. Let's hope we don't hit too bad of traffic. I will need to stop for gas though, because on a full tank, this thing showed 220-ish miles of range, which is not that impressive. Must have a rather small fuel tank. Now this is the hybrid powertrain, the iForce Max, but this is more hybridization for torque and performance, less so for actual fuel efficiency. I just remembered my friend Jason, who has a new 4Runner TRD Pro, so the same powertrain as this, said to put it into eco mode when you're on the freeway, road tripping, and it really helps a lot with your fuel economy or efficiency. We have 3 drive modes: sport, normal, and eco. You change it with this little rotary dial right here, which also controls some of your off-road stuff because this is a TRD Pro, of course. So let's see how eco mode does for some freeway efficiency. That back right tire doesn't look very healthy on that truck. Oh dear. Drive has been going pretty well till we hit a little bit of traffic here. I have been using the driver assistance system, which is lane keeping, lane tracing, and adaptive cruise control. Nothing super fancy, hands-on the entire time. Also, at this low speed, oh, we were in electric mode, but the engine just kicked on. So the hybrid powertrain, when you're creeping around, let's see, engine still on. If I just let off, we're coasting down. It should turn off, actually. All right, so we're currently off. You can creep forward. That's pretty much it. Let's see. I'm gonna be super gentle. Yeah, I can do 4 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour in electric mode, but anything more than that, the gas engine will kick on. So it's a very, very mild hybrid. Cruising at freeway speeds, we're averaging about 17 miles per gallon. I reset that when we started this trip. which honestly isn't all that impressive for a turbocharged 4-cylinder hybrid powertrain. But again, this one is more so for that torque, the performance, and we are in a TRD Pro, which is higher profile off-road focused tires. It's not the most aerodynamically efficient vehicle, but I also have a Durango Hellcat in the garage this week, and I was like, I'll take the Tacoma on the trip because it'll do better fuel economy. Although I'm not that sure. Again, it's winter too, so it's not ideal situation, but that's some real world MPGs, about 17 miles per gallon on the freeway. All right, we just put in 13.75 gallons. Calculate, what is my total range? It's not 34 miles. Come on, you're a Japanese truck. You should be good at math. Hurry up. All right, maybe I'll start driving. Man, this thing is tall. Like, that's a Silverado. Definitely has the presence. All right, 251 miles. 251 miles estimated range on a tank. Some traffic, and I am driving behind half of a house. I found the other half of the house up there. Look at that crazy side view mirror extension. Road trip report so far in the TRD Pro Tacoma. In terms of ride quality, it can get a little bit bouncy, especially over rougher pavement. Feel a lot of little motions. But the flip side of that is I really don't worry about potholes or cracks in the road at all because of the suspension and the tires on this thing. So no worry, but it's not like floaty comfortable. These off-road trucks, typically the suspensions need to handle a lot more of that compression rebound, the suspension travel. So they're not necessarily tuned for absolute comfort. They need to be capable, but totally livable. Just finished up dinner in downtown Naperville. Back into the truck. Oh, we gotta play Count the TRD logos later because there are a lot of them. The main infotainment screen also just takes a second to boot up. Makes you read the warning every time, a little hesitation before you hit continue. And when you're around town driving stop and go, it kicks off the engine pretty often, right? It's just coasting in electric mode. So that's where the hybrid powertrain is showing its slight efficiency boost. Again, when they did this powertrain, it is definitely hybridization for that torque figure, for performance, not for fuel economy chasing goals, but you are able to just kind of coast in electric mode. And like when you're in a parking lot, back into a space, it'll just idle forward in electric mode. As you're slowing down, it will kill the engine. Very long day at the Chicago Auto Show Media Day, but we are finally done. Heading back home, although I need to get food first. I am starving. What time is it? 3:30, and I have literally not eaten anything today. I am tired. I am very, very tired. But anyways, no point complaining. Let's go. Let the car warm up a little bit. Last time I was here at this exact parking garage, I was in an F-150 Raptor, and this is substantially easier to maneuver in this garage. It's still pretty tall. We have the clearance, but man, the Raptor was pretty tight getting in here. Date night in the Tacoma. Honey, look at that. Looks like it's been abandoned. I think it's got an inch of dust on it.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, that M8 has not moved in a very, very long time. Wow.
Why?
I don't know. That straight up.
M8? I've never heard of that.
Or it might be an 850i. Nice date night in downtown Detroit, seeing a musical. Thank you, honey. That was very enjoyable. But now I am very hungry.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah. Now we have to head home, doing a little bit of traffic getting out of here. Let's take a quick look at the interior. There are so many TRD logos. We've got one there, TRD, TRD Pro, on the seats, TRD, on the steering wheel, TRD. You're not gonna forget you're driving a TRD Pro, right? I like the red accents too on the start-stop button. We got the red contrast, the seats. Man, that red is very, very nice. Door inserts there. I don't know if I love the TRD Pro lettering right there, and also Toyota. I know I'm driving a Toyota, like this right here, and this like almost, it looks like carbon, but it's not. It's just a textured plastic trim. Something I do like is how much storage there is, like little cubbies everywhere, right there along the door pocket too, and then the center console. This I think is probably for like wrapping a cord around because you got the USB-C ports right there, but you got storage there, the cup holder, storage here in the center console too, and then we have so many nice analog physical controls. This is for changing from 2 high, 4 high, 4 low, right? You hold this here and then twist it, and then you can spin this for your drive modes, also your multi-terrain terrain system. You've got physical buttons for so many things, pulling up your camera, your diff lock, all these different things. And look at the controls. Look at that, physical toggles for your climate controls and heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel. So nice creature comforts and actual volume knob. But you still have tech, right? The big 14-inch infotainment screen here. Very, very nice, running CarPlay pretty much the whole time. Physical buttons on the steering wheel. You might wonder why I'm talking so much about physical buttons. It's because so many new interiors. It's just like touchscreen this and swipey that and just screens everywhere, and it's just I don't like that, right? There's pretty much no glossy piano black on this interior. Big grab bar right here. Everything feels very solid and nice. Listen to that. Right? And then we do have a digital cluster there too. And then look, even more physical buttons. We've got 4 aux switches, the TRD light bar down here, lighting in the bed, and then just physical controls for everything. Very, very nice. Now, space-wise, it's not the most like spacious feeling, right? It's a little more tight of an interior, especially second row space, or more specifically lack of space, but it's all that red interior. If you need more space, get a 4Runner, Land Cruiser, or go even up a size to Tundra. Having a little fun, climbing some piles of snow, some shenanigans. Make our way down. I was able to get some decent angle. All right, let's go back out of 4 low into 2 high. Exit out a multi-terrain system. Whee! All right, the Toyota Tacoma TRD PRO. What has this been like to live with? Quite nice, actually. It's a great week to test this thing out because it's been insanely cold, snowy, the depths of winter, but I also got to take it on a road trip and see how it behaved. Now, on-road manners are okay. It's definitely not tuned for that on-road comfort, right? And get a little jouncy, but then we have the really cool IsoDynamic sports seats, which are a seriously, seriously cool piece of technology. From everything I looked into it, Toyota had this video with the engineers talking about how they developed it, why they developed it. They even tracked like your eyes when you're off-roading to see how much like jouncing, is that the technical term? How much wiggle? No, wiggle is even less technical of a term. How much like shaking, anyways, like moving around in the car when doing some crazy rock crawling off-roading, and it does make an improvement. You can fine-tune it, but there's legit engineering behind these seats. It is not just a marketing gimmick. So the seats, I think, are a really, really cool thing. In terms of on-road behavior, though, it's okay. I mean, the tires mean that you don't worry about anything, any potholes, expansion cracks, anything on the road. I'm like, whatever, right? Just go wherever you want. Whenever I'm in a vehicle like this, it turns me into a child because I just want to drive over things and just go all these places that I'm technically probably not supposed to go. The Bronco Raptor made me feel that way too. Also love how it's a manageable size. It is definitely wider, but compared to the Tundra F-150 Ram, this thing is much, much more reasonable, but it's tall. Like, you've got so much ground clearance. I was eye level with full-size trucks, SUVs, things like that, so that part is really cool too. In terms of other downsides though, efficiency is bad, real bad. Now again, winter, it's definitely super cold, so that's not great, and it's not aerodynamically efficient. You've got the tires, the ground clearance, all of that, but this is a hybrid system, not for efficiency. You're not being like, oh cool, it's a hybrid iForce Max now, I'm gonna get 30 mpg in my TRD Pro. No, I average 15.7, and that's with a lot of just freeway cruising at like 80 miles an hour, cruise control on, driving 4 hours back from Chicago. It's not efficient. I filled up a full tank and it was like 200 miles to empty. I was like, wait, are you serious? That's it? It's not very practical in terms of space. Second row is essentially useless. My younger brother, I picked him up, we went to grab dinner, we were in Chicago. He's even taller than I am. He's like 6'4", 6'5"-ish, and the way I had the seat, because I had my suitcase in the back and my backpack there, because I wasn't gonna throw my suitcase in the bed and then just drive 4 hours to Chicago, right? He couldn't get in. I had to like move the seat, I had to move my suitcase and then move the seat all the way back for him to fit. And then there was literally zero legroom in the second row. Now the IsoDynamic seats definitely eat into that a bit, but this is ostensibly a 2-seater truck, right? Yeah, the Tundra is what you would want to get if you actually have more people to transport, or the 4Runner. So that's where the platform siblings get very interesting. It's almost like Toyota's giving themselves competition because they now have the 4Runner TRD Pro on this platform. They also have the Land Cruiser, which is the similar size, the 250 series Land Cruiser, and then you also have the more premium luxury Lexus iteration, the GX, for example. I think if I were to shop for something like this, I would go for the 4Runner because I like the SUV practicality. And I mean, a 5-foot bed is usable in a pinch, but something about the 4Runner just says more practical to me. Now, regardless of whether you go 4Runner or Tacoma TRD Pro, these TRD Pro models, they hold value so tremendously well. So is this a bit on the pricier side? We're talking mid 60s plus options, right? So 60, 70 grand. I think my friend's 4Runner TRD Pro was 74,000 as option or something like that. I mean, yes, that is a lot of money for a small segment truck, but it'll hold value. So whatever money you're putting into it when you buy it, you're gonna get most of it back. And theoretically, it's supposed to just go and go and go, right? They do have a reputation, Toyota does, and hopefully they preserve it with this new generation powertrain to just go. That previous old naturally aspirated V6 was a very low-stressed, low-complexity powertrain, right? Now with this new iForce Max is the boosted 4-cylinder with the hybrid system, way more complexity. We don't know yet how long it'll last, but they've put it in a lot of things, right? The 4Runner has iForce plus Max, the Tacoma now, the Land Cruiser. Now, Toyota has had a couple little hiccups with some of their latest powertrains, right? The V6, the hybrid, you know, and the bigger ones. So we'll see how it does, but I love the low-end torque response. The dynamics are fine. I love the interior that it has. We do have the big 14-inch touchscreen with CarPlay. I was running CarPlay the whole time, but look at these like physical controls. These toggles you could use while wearing gloves. The big, chunky, like rotating knobs. Everything is laid out very, very nicely. I think I like the interior layout here more than in the, it's pretty similar to Land Cruiser, I feel like, but I think I like this more. That was the thing I was debating. Do I like the Land Cruiser or the 4Runner? Do I like the Tacoma? I think 4Runner TRD Pro, this is a very, very nice truck. Now, EcoBoost Raptor, what's it called? The Ranger Raptor does have a V6, right? So sometimes people want more cylinder count, but the Colorado is also a 2.7 liter turbo 4, even larger displacement, but not hybrid. So very different formulas to hit this thing, but we've got, I mean, the Fox shocks, the cool seats, the ground clearance, the tires, all the stuff. This thing is cool. This thing is definitely really, really cool. I enjoyed my week living with it. I think we did a good job testing it out, highlighting some of the pros and the cons. Now, the only downside is we didn't get to do proper off-roading to try it out, but this thing handled anything I threw at it in the real world, right? Like terrible, crappy roads, potholes, parking structures. I was in pretty much rear-wheel drive mode the entire time, even when it was cold, icy, and snowy. Yeah, traction control will cut power pretty aggressively when it was losing traction, but otherwise, big fan. I think it looks really awesome. What do you guys think? Tacoma TRD Pro. Look, I'm in hybrid mode again. Electric mode. Tacoma TRD Pro, 4Runner TRD Pro, Land Cruiser, Colorado ZR2, GMC, Canyon AT4X, Ranger Raptor, Ranger Tremor. There's actually a lot of options. Jeep Gladiator, you could also throw that in here too. Jeep Wrangler Gladiator, although I feel like these have more updated tech and just fancy cool features. But what would you grab? What would you buy? What would you want to daily drive? Someday I need to take one of these things, proper off-roading. Hi Toyota, can we do an off-road trip, please? I want to have some fun and test out these IsoDynamic seats. Hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. Thanks for watching.